What's going on, Nour Nation? I'm Nour Solomon from We Are MasterMinds, and today we're going to get into it. Today we're going to talk about taking yourself seriously. And it's crazy that, we talk about something as simple as taking your own being, who you are, yourself seriously, but it's more imperative than anything you can imagine because most people don't do it. And no matter how you feel or what you think or whatever your perspective may be, at the end of the day, if your actions aren't displaying taking yourself seriously, then your words are all for naught. And if you can't take yourself seriously, you can't expect nobody else to, right? So let's talk more about exactly what I mean by that. We all have goals and aspirations and things that we want to do in life. But how many of you guys actually take time to sit down and think about what you want to do in life? What your plans are, who you are at that moment. When you think about these particular things and you go into more of a introspective journey, that is the beginning of taking yourself seriously. You can say everything that you want to about yourself and say, hey, I take myself seriously, blah, 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 I'm serious about my craft. I'm serious about what I do, blah, blah, blah. You don't even practice what you do, right? You don't even practice. Okay? So if you're taking yourself seriously, the main thing that we have to do is we have to become masters at setting goals. Okay? Goal setting is imperative and it is a pure art to it. To do it correctly. Okay. When it comes down to goal setting, the only way that it can be a true goal is you have to write it down. If you never write down your goals or aspirations on paper or type it or something to put it in your visual, it's not a real goal. You're not that serious about it. You must not really want it. Because if you did, you would take time to actually plan it out, right? So you have to write down your goals, okay? And the best way to do this is a quick jot in the beginning, just jotting down whatever comes to mind of what do I want? So just sit down, get yourself a piece of paper, get a pen or pencil, and just think, what do I want? And the best practice is to start off with long-term goals. So not just stuff right now, but think about stuff in the future. I would say from a year to about 10 years from now. So starting a year from now, all the way up to about 10 years, all of those in between are good long-term goals. So think about from a year from now until 10 years from now, what all do I want in that time period? And just jot it down. Don't think too much about it. Don't think much of it. Just jot down all those things. At least try to get like 40 or 50 thoughts on the paper. Okay. Next, after you jot those 40 to 50 thoughts down, okay, you need to make sure that you number them. And how you number them is however long you believe it would take you to attain that particular goal is the number you write beside them. So if you wrote down a particular thing that you want and you think it'll take you a year to actually attain that particular thing, write the number 1 beside it. If you think it'll take you 10 years, write down number 10. And once you're done with that, take a look at exactly how many goals you have within 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. Make sure that you have a balance. Okay. If you see something that's out of balance, like you have too many goals that are like 10-year goals and too many goals that are 1-year goals, that means that you're not gauging how long it should really take those goals to come into fruition. Right. Okay. You either shorten yourself, or you're pretty much getting a little bit too overzealous and you're thinking that it might happen a little bit too fast. Either way, you know, it's not a balance. You want to make sure you have a good balance in it. Okay. So after you do that, pick the top 15 to 20 out of those. Okay. And make sure you have a good balance from 1 year to 10 years. Okay. The ones that resonate with you the most. Okay. Those are the ones you want to focus on. And a good way to break that down, if you're not sure how to do it, is each particular want. Write down a when, where, how, what, etc. Okay. When do you want this to happen? Now, you said it's a year from now, but when? Are you talking about, you know, next year in November? Are you talking about next year in December? When are you talking about? 10 years from now. Okay. 10 years from now in May, June, July. Why? Why do you want this? Why do you want it to happen in that time? Why do you think it'll take that long? Why do you want it? What? What will it do for you? What will it benefit you? What exactly will this want do for you in your life? Right? And then, of course, you do how. How do you actually obtain this goal? How do you attain this want or desire? Now, if you start seeing a pattern where you can't really get a lot of information out of yourself and out of your mind about this particular goal, want, or need, or whatever you want to call it, then obviously it's not that important, because you couldn't come up with enough reasons why you should actually have it. You couldn't come up with enough reasons of how you would actually get it. And you'll realize that you'll find a lot more wants and desires that you can come up with everything for, than others that you just can't really figure out a lot of information on. You know, it's just like, well, maybe I didn't want that as much. Maybe I didn't want that as bad. So once you sift through all the nonsense and all the mess, and you find those solid 15 to 20 wants and desires and goals, you go ahead and start planning. You plan them out, and you get into detail about how you're going to do it. You get into detail about when you're going to do it, down to the freaking date. You could say January 21st, 2025. I expect to have this particular desire. How I'm going to get it? I'm going to make sure that I study this particular subject. I'm going to make sure that I open myself up to speaking to people in this field, in this area, to open myself up to opportunities. I'm going to practice this particular thing so I can get better at the craft, so I can actually attain this want or desire. How are you going to do it? And then once you set up a process or plan, figure out the particular time frame that you are using to get this plan done. So basically saying, I'm going to practice this every day for 2 hours. I'm going to make sure I at least speak to one person I don't know once a month or twice a month to open myself up to new opportunities. I'm going to read myself one book a month until that particular time comes, right? So you're setting yourself up a plan, but you're spacing the time and you're planning it out with your own time frame and your own schedule. So when that time comes that you desire to have that particular goal attained, all your ducks will be in a row. See, when you start to write these things down, when you start to jot down your ideas, when you start to plan out the goals you have set and how to attain them, and you give yourself reasons, you give yourself motivators of why you need and why you should have these things, That's when you're taking yourself seriously. So Nour Nation, I'm here to tell you, if you're not setting goals, if you're not planning your life in the future every single day, you're fooling yourself. And my phone's going crazy because it knows it's the truth. You're fooling yourself. If you're not planning, you're failing because you're failing to plan. Either way, you have to set your goals and you have to plan to reach them. Now, you have other goals as well. Okay, those are for your long-term goals. But what about your goals within a year's span, within a year's time? Your short-term goals. Same process. If you're doing it for the day-to-day basis, what you're looking to reach or attain for that particular day, you need to plan out how exactly you're going to attain that goal. What exactly am I going to do today to make myself better, to progress, and to get myself closer to obtaining this goal that I set for today? Write out that plan. I'm going to shake 5 hands. I'm going to talk to 6 different people. I'm going to read 3 chapters. I'm going to make sure that nothing today gets me out of my comfort zone. If it makes me uncomfortable, I'm going to make sure I go and do it and find comfort in it. It's a change of mindset. It's a change of perspective. And you're setting up your entire day right from the beginning. This is how we should move throughout the universe every day. Always go through the day or go into the day with a plan of how to be successful. And one thing you should always think about when you're taking yourself seriously every single day you wake up is, how can I be more productive and how can I make sure that after today's over, I know for sure that I progressed. Life is all about progression. I hope you guys got something out of that, man. I hope you guys are setting your goals high and you're setting and planning your goals and you got everything written down and you're checking them off when you're done, because that's another good piece of everything. You got to check it off and celebrate it, because that feeling you get when you accomplish and check off that particular goal that you attained, it stirs that desire inside of you to want to go ahead and do it more. When you eat a good piece of steak or whatever you like, a good piece of a bite of candy, right? It's satisfying, but at the end of the day, you want to take another bite because it was good. It gives you that desire. It stirs that desire inside of you. So make sure you do that as well. Check mark off all those goals that you attained and all those desires that you manifested, and make sure you celebrate them once you have done it. And guys, let's just live our best life. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm Nour Solomon from We Are Masterminds, and we believe in you. Appreciate y'all.